Hi, and welcome to your nutrition journey. And step one. Step one is tracking. It's actually not about making any changes right now. It's about learning what are you currently doing. This gives me the information I need to know what are you currently eating, what are your favorite foods, and what are your current habits to know which ones we want to change the most. In this phase, I'm going to ask you to document everything you're eating for about 4 days, making sure at least one of those days is a weekend, and then send me all that information and I'll do the analysis from there. The first rule of this is to try and eat normally. And that can be pretty hard when you start watching what you're eating. Just do your best to follow your usual habits and just simply document them. This shouldn't be a change of what you're doing, just a continuation. Be sure when you're tracking to try and track everything you eat. This means a handful of nuts or candy off the desk or even your morning cup of coffee with milk. You want to make sure you have all that information in there so that nothing is missed, because everything that goes into your body is adding to your overall calories and macro counts. And we'll learn a lot more about those in the next phase. One of the ways you can make sure you actually track everything is to take pictures. For busy people, this can be particularly helpful. If you just grab a quick picture before you pop it in your mouth, you'll be able to track it at the end of the day and make sure you capture truly everything that's in there. The other hard bit is to capture everything that's in there. Here you can see a picture of what someone might tell me is for dinner. I had a stir fry with rice. That's great. That isn't enough information for me to tell how many calories or macro groups are in there. If you describe the same picture by saying I had a cup of white rice, 2 cups of cooked vegetables, 1 cup of chicken, it was all cooked in olive oil with about 3 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce, that gives me a lot more information to go on. For families that are cooking, sometimes it's easier to give me everything that went into the pot and an estimate of how much of it you ate. So if I made a big batch of soup, I would write down everything that went into my big pot and said I ate a quarter of that soup, and then I ate a hand-sized piece of baguette. I can deal with that quite easily and analyze what it is. Using things like your hands to guess how large a portion is actually quite helpful. Generally, if something fits inside your hand, it's about a cup of food. Something that is the size of your full thumb is about a tablespoon. And those are good judges to use for everyday things you're about to put into your mouth. A half handful of nuts, a half a banana, a whole banana is generally a good estimation for me, or a thumb size or a half thumb size amount of butter on a piece of bread. Those are great. Tracking things like butters and oils can be the harder part, and so using your fingers to estimate how much it was will really help me track how much food that was. I'm going to give you here in this email 2 different options to submit to me your tracking information. One is just a paper form that you're going to print, and then you physically write it in, scan it, take a picture of it, send it to me. You're good. The other is a link to a Google Forms document. Some people prefer to just be able to type things out, and this works for me also. With both of these, the Google document has an upload option, and if you send me something, you can also send me pictures. You can also send me pictures of the recipe you're using and say, I ate a quarter of this, if you don't want to type everything out. It's absolutely no difference to me, and I'm happy to do that work for you. Once you've sent me all the information, I will use it to do the breakdown of what you are eating and trying to establish which habits you have. For that reason, on the form, there are also categories for notes. The notes, I want to know if you liked that food, if it's a favorite food, if you want to eat it every day, if you'd miss it if it was gone, or if it's something you hated and you never want to eat it again and you only ate it because your husband made it and you want him to feel happy about himself. I also would like to know approximately what time did you eat it. I'm also curious how well you slept in terms of how many hours, as addition to any movement you had. If you have a smartwatch, this might mean tracking your steps for me. If you just went for 2 20-minute walks, that's also good information. Or if you went and did a full aerobics class and were swimming, I want to get a general gauge as to what your movement patterns are. I do love step counters, and if you don't have one, I might be encouraging you to get one. If you have any questions, of course, please send me an email, a WhatsApp, get in touch. I'm happy to answer them. You're free to send me pictures of foods and ask questions. This is what I am here for. So happy tracking. Let me know if you have questions, and I can't wait to get to the next phase with you.